Hello and welcome to Infosys Finacle Innovation Talk Series. I'm Puneet and today I'm delighted to have with us Mr. Chhahira, Chief Technology Officer, Kasikornbank Limited, Thailand. Welcome, Mr. Chhahira.
Good afternoon, Puneet, and good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Chhahira. First of all, on behalf of entire Infosys Finacle team, accept our congratulations to you as well as your team on winning the Infosys Finacle Innovation Awards. In fact, I believe it's raining awards at various regional and global awards program. I'm familiar with more than 3 awards which you won in the last 3 months itself. I believe it's a testimony to the innovative and impactful work that you have done with building Thailand's first social bank. And I'm so excited that we have this opportunity to talk about that innovative journey and take a lot of those learnings which you have gathered along the way and share it with all our viewers who are tuning in for this discussion. To begin, Mr. Chhahira, may I request you to give our global audience a brief introduction about your organization as well as your role?
Right. Okay, thank you, Puneet. I'm Chhatchai. I'm Chief Technology Officer from Kasikorn from the Kasikorn line. Okay. To talking about my organizations, we have to step back a bit. Right. We are the joint venture from Kasikornbank, which is a very leading bank that they are very successful in mobile banking in Thai market. On the other side, we have LINE Corporations, which is very successful in the LINE application, which is a very strong messaging system. They are success in Japan, Thailand, and several countries. Okay. Back 2 years ago, LINE Corporations have the initiative to go into the financial service over their messaging platform. And they launched the initiative in 4 countries, Japan, Thailand, Indonesia, and Taiwan. So in Thailand, LINE Corporation decided to joint venture with Kasikornbank to build a banking platform upon their messaging applications to give a seamless functions from the messaging, social networking, also the mobile market to link up with the financial services. So that's why they end up with what we call the Kasikorn LINE Corporations. And what we deliver is a service called the LINE BK, because some of the limitation in Thailand that we cannot launch the digital banking service. So we have to work together with Kasikornbank to deliver full-blown banking service from the CASA saving services, payment services, to the lending services. Okay, so with 3 organizations working together, LINE as a front, Kasikornbank at the back end to supporting banking service for us, and we ourselves to be in the middle. Altogether, we build the service called the LINE BK.
Okay. Excellent. I think it's in an era of ecosystem, 2 giants from respective fields coming together and creating a proposition which is extremely convenient and really embedded into the lifestyles of consumer together in form of LINE BK is indeed commendable. Before we actually zoom into LINE BK, for our global audience, would you be able to give a quick understanding of how Thailand as a market is evolving? What are the unique opportunities and challenges Thailand market offers to any fintech startup or even a established financial institution?
Right. For the last few years, several banks trying to capture the digital banking in the market. Right. Kasikorn was the first one who penetrated the most. They had approximately 2 years ago about 20 million active users, right? And there's something stagnant there. There's no growth. On the other side, the bank also tried to capture the personal lending market as well, right? And the challenge was that with the limitation of the regulatories and a lot of digital platform in the country, it's quite difficult to onboarding the customer through the fully digital channel, right, in the past. So together with the LINE, they see an opportunity, right, to capture all the both, because as said, on the bank we have less than 20 million active users, Why on the line in Thailand alone, there are 43 million customer actively using on the line. So altogether, we expect that on the banking side, they can expand the footprint in our populations. Right? Approximately, you think about 19 million grow up to 14 million. That's quite a huge number. You can go twice. On the other side, right, with the line, they in the past they offer several services to the customer aside from the messaging. They have what is so-called the line man who do the food delivery. They have the line TV. They have a line game, right? So they have quite an ecosystem in there already. So the next step is how they can bridge with the financial service. So it's quite a good marriage, right? On one side, the bank try to grow into the digital ecosystem. On the other side, Line is quite want to expand the services, right, from several kind of service into the financial service, right? So that's the figure that they're starting off, right? The second thing is that on the back side, they are very keen to work on the what so-called the alternative scoring to offer for the lending customer. I think in several countries like Thailand, we have the limitation on acquiring the credit scoring essay or the credit information of the customer to approve for the loan. We utilize the data on both sides, the bank and the line altogether, to build some certain scoring platform to help us to get a more understanding on our customer. So this is some, I think, business advantage for this joint venture, because if you're going by bank alone without the partnership, you feel strict with the conventional data point from the banking perspective. But from the line, they're coming from the social activities and give us more broad view on the customer side. And altogether, we build another credit model, which is quite powerful comparing to the market. So you can see that the joint venture is expanding in terms of the market size and also the service portfolio. On the other side, we can utilize more on the data from the both world to offer the service to customer. With this, we can offer more customer segment in terms of banking alone or line alone. So this is a very good combinations. And talking about the number, right, with the expectation of the growth, from we launched back in October 2020, right? So as of now, January 2022, we are about 14 months, right? At this point in time, we have more than 5 million customers on the banking service, and we have more than 500,000 customers on the lending service now. Just that's about 14 months, after launch.
Wow, these numbers are extremely impressive, Mr. Chhahira, and I think the way you described, it's truly a win-win-win proposition for the customer, for the bank, and for the line organization. And I think together you are bringing in the reach which Line had, as well as the understanding of the customer beyond the financial information, and the financial knowledge, risk management of the bank, and combining it together to make sure that there is a contextual offering to the client. And I think it's really all the right forces coming together to make the service work. And I love the fact that the way you said you're using the social data beyond traditional data to do the risk assessment and essentially expand the market. I'm super interested in all this, and if you allow me, I want to zoom in a little bit more on all of this. Let's start with the ecosystem. You talked about how Line had an ecosystem already and how banking services has been embedded. How is the banking ecosystem and Line ecosystem is coming together in this proposition?
Okay. Well, what we try to do when we launch the Line BK service, right? We try pretty much to give a customer seamless experience from the social networking into the banking. So, for example, in Line applications, right? If you think about our competitor WhatsApp, right? You can chat, right? In Line applications, you can send something called sticker. Like you have a list of the pictorial, graphical cartoon, and then you can send it over. You can customize your sticker with the combining with the Kasikorn bank, right? And our Line BK can not only send sticker, but you can send the money right? So you don't need to our customer don't need to know the banking account of the counterparty. So as long as you can chat over the line, right? You send the message, you send sticker, now you can send the money, for example. So for the online merchants and the customer, it's quite convenient because they can chat, exchange the product specifications, and then we agree to buy or sell, right? The financial just there. They just click on the line messaging. So it's elevating the social messaging in another level. You can think about it, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of another proposition. It's might not strong in terms of economical. But again, this is being it's breakthrough in terms of the market experience to our customer here, right? So that's one example that we can deliver when we bridging or to these two kind of services together, right? On the other side, with this messaging, you can also providing the financial information like your account balance, right? And some certain items that you can like bonding messaging over these systems, right? With the line application that you run on the Wi-Fi or internet, right? It can go with you everywhere. If you rely on the SMS and you're going out of the country, then it's off because you don't have the roaming, for example. So this kind of thing is a bridging in terms of experience. Technically, there are definitely some of the gateway and some kind of channels that we have to build all together between bank and bridging with the application front, right? So that's kind of example, yeah.
This is super inspiring, Mr. Chachai. And when you think of product portfolio which you have built in the last 14 months, I understood that we are already having a payment proposition. We are having a lending proposition. Can you go little detail what kind of products you have already built in this spaces, and what is the unique flavor you have brought, which was so unique, primarily from either a messaging perspective on the channel of chat or from the overall uniqueness from the market perspective in the Thailand market?
Right, that's a good question, Puneet. Right, so let's come back what we offer, right? So basically we offer the CASA service, meaning you can do the fund transfer across the bank on any bank in Thailand, right? You can apply for the debit card in terms of the virtual debit card or the physical debit card, right? On the lending side, what we do is that we can allow our customer to apply for the loan 24/7, right? And the process is quite easy because when you're our banking customer, for the KYC process or know your customer process, right? We already defined with our customer, so we allow the customer to be easily apply for our lending. And with the 24/7, right, and everything go on the electronics channel, a customer can apply around the clock. That's a convenience that we give to the customer. On our side, right, with this digital channel, right, we can reduce a lot of costs comparing to the conventional bank. So no more paperwork, no more keying, right? Everything is on the structured data that customer giving for us on the application front, right? So we can process the application quickly, right? There's some certain process that we still need people coming in, but still that's really minimal comparing to the conventional process, right?
Yep.
So all this technology that we use, our on the roadmap, the bank side, line side, and also the Infosys that helping us to build all of this all together, that give us a really a strong platform, right? And mentioned earlier about the data point with this loan evaluation process, right? The behavior can be acquired from the line channels that line already have in our customer behavior in the past 3 months, 6 months, and then we can combine to our crediting model, and then we can compute and offer the loan very quick, right? Normally without the problem, you can get the offer back in 1 or 2 seconds, right? Okay, so giving that convenience of the customer and with the lower cost, we can offer our loan side smaller, so we can penetrate into the lower market who cannot get the application to the bank because they are too small, or the credit side might too small and the bank cannot going that low because of the cost of operation is too high, that they cannot cope with this type of tiny applications.
No, this is the beauty of what you're doing, Mr. Chhahira. I think for a country like Thailand, where there is so much of untapped and underserved market, the fact that you can use non-traditional data points to do credit assessment, you can deliver convenience on a app which a customer is already tuned into, you can deliver loans quickly, almost real time. It's a big boon for the people as well as big boon for the economy. Really inspiring. And I'm glad that we could participate in this journey with you. And I want to bring on that point. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience of working with Infosys Finacle?
Right. I think we're quite fun, let's say, right? I mean, the project is rough, right? Up and down, right? And Infosys always with us along the journey, right? This is new thing on both of us and the Infosys, right? And the Infosys team is trying pretty much to understand the challenge at hand, right? A lot of things you cannot think like a conventional bank. You have to thinking out of the box, right? First, coming in the experience that Infosys had with the conventional bank, and at the same time, Infosys team try to learn together with us and try to understand what we think. That I think that's a very successful factor that helped us to launch the project. Back in meet our schedule back then.
No, we are glad that we could participate in the journey and could help you move forward with your vision. And finally, if I move on to a section on if in this journey of 14 months as well as few months before you actually launched, when you started working on this project, you have to deal with two very different set of organizations: a banking organization, a communication organization, and then build a new way of banking in the country. I'm sure there are lots and lots of learnings you have accumulated. If you want to reflect on those learnings and give us the top 3 learnings which you feel anybody who is listening to us today, who is attempting a similar partnership, should keep in mind while taking their initiative.
Right. So 3 things that I can share. Right. Let's go with the easy one first. Right. The hard one later. Right. The easiest one is when you work in this kind of innovations or the new thinking, right? You have to understand that the set of the problem that you understand or you had in the conventional bank, right, is no longer valid, right? 50-60% will be gone with the new kind of offering that we're trying to do. The key point is that you have to identify what is no longer valid and what is a new challenge, and you take your new challenge early and not try to bridge back between what you know how to solve the old problem and attack into the new problem. I think that's the first thing that we learned about this, right? So a lot of things that you see in the past sometimes is not valid anymore because you don't have that such a process in our new solutions, so you can forget about it, right? So that's dragged us quite sometimes to solidify the full idea that when we launch, right? I think the second part and the hardest one, not going into 3 definitely. The second part is about the culture. You see, as you said, one side is a conventional bank. They are a digital bank. They're successful. They have 20 million customers, but banks still bank, right? Under regulated, they have a heavily processed, right? On the other side, we have not a quite communication company. They are game company because they have a TV services, they have a game, they have messaging, they have a food delivery. Right? So the thinking is totally different, right? And there's some certain processes that are very common in the banking industry, which coming in, and the other side would say, we need to do this, right? The challenge is that both are success with totally different process, right? So you cannot say that which one is the best, right? But along the way, you have to work together and find and define another way of working, right? Not opposing, but blending, and to get the best out of it, right? That is much more difficult and more challenging than the technical integrations in this project. that I can share with you. When you work as a platform and you work economical with your partners from the different segment, different culture, different country, right? We have Korean, we have Indian, we have Thai, right? And not only corporate culture, we're talking about the national culture and so many things but that's make the project fun. Yeah, when we implemented it, 2 years ago.
No, beautifully said. Blending the cultures together, not starting with a fixed mindset, but with a growth and open mindset. Indeed, the recipe for success. And thank you so much for sharing this with us. And thank you for giving us this time and this opportunity to have this chat and learn from your journey and celebrate your success along. On behalf of everyone in our organization, I want to wish you again lots and lots of success and lots of customer delight and value which you are creating. And it's our privilege to be a partner in this journey. And thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Chhahira.
Thank you, Puneet, and thank you, Team Infosys, for helping us up to this point. Thank you.
It's our pleasure, Mr. Chhahira. And thank you to all our audience who has tuned into this conversation. I hope you found this discussion insightful and things which you can take back and implement in your business to drive growth and customer success. Stay tuned to our social channels for many such insightful discussions from global banking leaders. Thanks and bye for now. Take care.
Bye now.